I'm Dan Galusha, and welcome to another edition of Shoot and Plink. Today we're going to start our series on the Umarex Ruger Mark IV. And the first one we're going to have is just talking about this gun. And we're going to have another one where we're going to compare it to its sister, the Browning Buck Mark. They're quite similar, but there's some differences, and we'll talk about that, like I said, when we start comparing them. Right now we're going to talk about the Ruger Mark IV. Now, start off with, it weighs about 1.34 pounds. I put it on my scale, and that's what it came out to. This is all metal. It's very solid. That's good. It's got good weight with that little weight, or a little bit over 1 pound. This is the polymer plastic type stuff in here. So don't go hammering around because you will have it banging up. It has a safety right over here. Very easy safety to use, as you can see. And that automatically goes on when you break the barrel. Now it has a very hard barrel break, actually. And it has the fiber optic sight, which I think you can see on there on the front. I like that. The adjustment on it has been a real bear. Normally, what I do is the first rounds I fire out of the gun are the ones that you see. Not this time. I have decided, and I'm glad I did, to shoot first. And I have fired a lot of rounds with a lot of different types of pellets. And this is pellet, single shot. And the velocity, by the way, is supposed to be 320 feet per second. And we'll have that in another video, is where we're going to put it on the chronograph. But we're going to be doing a lot of shooting today. And it has a very, very hard trigger pull, and I'll show you that right now. You can see it's got a stiff one, but that may loosen up after some time. We'll put it back here, and I'll show you this hard trigger pull. As you can see, it is not loaded, nothing in it. And I'll tell you what I did afterwards too. Now, you can see it is a very hard trigger pull. Well, it's even harder if I don't take safety off. There. Okay, it's got a good crisp pull, but it is hard. And of course, when I first did it, I just forgot. That safety automatically goes on, and I'll show you right here. Well, watch the safety. There, you can see it's hard to, it's got a heavy brake. So that safety is now on. That's the same with the Buck Mark. There I compared something. But when you fire it, you just pull that down, and we'll leave that cocked right now because I'll put the first pellet in a bit. Right now it's not loaded. And the safety is on. Well, better pick it back up, because what I'm going to talk about is the adjustment, the sight adjustment. That's one good thing, especially with this gun, that the sights are adjustable. Front sights, no. And I wish they were. And I'll tell you why. This thing was shooting so far to the left and so low when I first fired it that I couldn't believe it. And I kept adjusting and adjusting, and I thought, doggone. So what I did is my old trick of cleaning it. And I mean, this barrel was filthy inside. And I cleaned it up. I lubed it up. Put some the synthetic type stuff on there, something that you would use on a semi-automatic. Thought, I'm going to really get this thing done up good. But look at this rear sight, how far I've had to adjust this. It was shooting that far to the left that it's adjusted way over here. And it might even need some more tweaking, but I just don't dare go any further. Use good old Kentucky windage, I guess. Elevation, same thing. This was way down here, and you can see how high I've got that adjusted. I had to bring that up. I mean, it was probably shooting 4 inches, 3 to 4 inches to the left and down. So I had to do a lot of adjusting, and it was one of these things that if you just tweak it just a little bit too far, it's going to shoot the other way. Not as drastically, but still. And so that's what we had to do. And what we're going to do today is we're going to do some plinking. We're going to shoot some AR-500 steel, and we're going to get out of the way. You can see this target right here. And I've already got it set up. We're going to shoot at 5, 7, and 10 yards. To me, and I imagine we'll see this, This is a 5 to 7 yard gun. 10 yards, and as far as 25 yards, I don't know what it'd do. I have not tried it. I've got in my little backyard air gun range here, I do have one strip that we can shoot a 25 yard one, and it's safe. There's no problem there because I've used it before. I've just used it for storage now, so a lot of stuff's piled up in there. But we may set up something and just plink it at it for 25 yards, but we'll wait and see. First, we're going to shoot this thing and see what happens. Like I said, we're going to go with 5, 7, and 10 yards. Then we're going to take a look at it, and then we'll do a little bit of plinking. So, and oh, by the way, what I'm going to shoot are RWS hobby pellets. Another one that I've had halfway decent luck with on this is the Sig Sauer ones. They're a match pellet. Those work pretty good in this, and I did not try the Normas. Now the Normas are a doggone good pellet, but I didn't try them here. We're going to go with these right now because this is quite similar to what probably everybody's going to be shooting. So let's start shooting. Okay, I'm back. Didn't shoot, or I did, but you didn't see it. There, I don't know why, but it needed more tweaking. It was shooting way low and way high and everything. You can see all these X's maybe that I've put in here. And we're going to shoot again at 5, 7, and 10 yards. And hopefully we'll be able to hit it a little bit different. Most of my sighting in towards the end was done with the Sig Sauer. I also brought some Norma out with me. I went back in and got some Sig Sauer. And I'm hoping that they'll hit a little bit better. This, I think, is a very, very picky gun on what you're going to be shooting. We're going to take a closer look at those when we get done here. But right now we're going to fire it at 5, 7, and 10 yards. So let's go back here to 5 and we'll see what happens. Alright, I got you zoomed in so that you can see the different ones, and you can see which says 5, 7, and 10, so you know what I'm going to be shooting at. And first one that we're going to do is, of course, 5. Okay, let's take a look at this. I don't know. We'll see. Well, it's 7 yards, 5 yards. Looks to me like most of them. I'll come up here. You've seen it. At 5 yards, they all hit right in here. Actually, very good. All except for one, I think, that probably went down here. That was a flyer. 7 yards, and they start going a little bit low, didn't they? They're in around here. By the time we got out to 10, take a look at that. I mean, they were, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because I was trying to fire 5 rounds at each one. And as I'd said, I just don't think this is a 10-yard plus gun. 7 yards is going to be okay maybe for plinking. This 5 yards, which is a lot of your pistol distances anyway, and at 320 feet per second, that might be about it. So what we're going to do now is, and I'm sure it's going to hit that, we're going to clang away at some AR-500, and we won't shoot as many rounds there, but we'll move back from each different distance, and it might even, I got a few more yards to spare back here. So we'll hit it. We'll see what happens with it. Well, I fired 1 round from each distance, and I would say that probably this one might have hit down here. That's probably a 10-rounder maybe, but it was hitting the steel, as you could tell. So if you're going to shoot at some steel, you can probably hit those. You're not shooting the really little bitty ones. There's just a difference in the sound, which you can probably tell too, that from 10 yards, it's just got a weaker sound when it hits. So it's probably going like this. You know, it's going to really be a test to see what we get in actual velocity on this gun. I like it. I like the weight. I like the grip. The grip is very, very nice on this. It's just the adjustment in that's kind of weird. And as I said, we're going to be doing a comparison with the Buck Mark, and that's going to be an interesting deal. Why don't we do some plinking now and see what we can do with that? So let me set up all the plinking targets, and we'll fire away at those from different distances. And I may use the Norma pellets with this and see how they work. When I get them all set up, and as I said, we're going to try some Norma pellets this time. Now, I know what you'd probably be thinking too is, what are the weights? And I looked that up. And the Sig Sauer and the Hobby are right around 7 grams. This is up to 8, this Norma. So we'll see if that makes a little bit of a difference. We'll fire first, and I want to definitely, from each distance, I want to fire at one of those cans to see what it'll do down the center. So at 5 yards, we'll take out that left can over there. Next, I think we're still going to be at 5 yards here. Let's take out one of those cardboard things, and one to the left. Now we'll do the same at 7 yards. We're going to take that next can to the left. And then we're going to take out the cardboard next to it. Yards was a little bit tougher, as you could tell, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that one that's left there, set it up there, and I'm going to go back just a little bit further than 10 yards and see if we can hit that thing. Okay, I gathered them together to see if I could figure them out. I did. This, and you can definitely see, this is a 5-yard gun. That's all there is to it. Bullseye. Bullseye. Not a lot of, it did go through here, penetration on this, but the cardboard, all it did is dent it. It did not go through. So that right there shows there's not a lot of penetration to start off with. This one, same thing. This is 7 yards. And right here, you can see the indentation of the pellet, I think. And it just broke the surface, that's all. And it hit just a little bit lower on that one. So again, that has to do with the velocity. Now, these, I'm a little confused as to which one, but they didn't penetrate. In fact, it almost looks like I've hit this can twice. Maybe that was when I had that one that was kind of, I think you probably heard that one. And then this one hit right down here. Again, lower. I mean, take a look at that. It goes a little bit lower each time. 7, 10. Not a whole lot of difference, but it went lower. The cardboard one from 10, well, it seems funny, but it actually broke the surface of it a little bit more, and it's pretty much in the middle. I don't know why. It's really irregular that way. So, you know, for the heck of it, and this is really going to be a long shot, more than one way, we're going to take this back here and we're going to fire this at a lot longer distance. And I'm going to use the Sig Sauer again, I think, on it. And if that don't work, then maybe I'll use the Norma. And we'll see what happens. So let's go over here. I'm going to just take one of these cans. We'll turn the can around a different way and we'll fire at that. So let's go get set up. Well, as you can see, like I said, it's a mess. I've used this for all my garden storage stuff now, and my can is way down there, and I'm going to zoom you in on that because we're at 25 yards. So, and then what I did is I brought over all my pellets. So we're going to be trying those different ones. So let's see what we can do. Okay, it was a Norma pellet that got it. Alright, picked up the can from the 25-yard shoot. I'll tell you, I had a devil of a time seeing where that pellet hit. And I'll show you what I mean. Here's the exit. This is where it hit at 10 yards, and that's the exit. Well, just right below there, there's a little indentation, and I bet you can't see it, but it's right there. That's where it hit. And as I said, when I hit it, and I fired a few pellets, I kept going that back and forth with all of them. It was the Norma, this one right here, that hit it at 25 yards. Now that's the one that's 8 something or other on grains, 8.2 grain. The Sig Sauer is 7.7 grain, and the RWS Hobby is 7. So that shows you a difference there. I have come to the conclusion that two things I've come to a conclusion on so far. One is, well, of course, it's definitely altering around with all your sight adjustment. But one is, it's a short range gun. It's not going to be for long distance, that's for sure. There's not a lot of impact to it. It's good otherwise. It's, like I said, it's very, very hard to adjust. And it's very ammo picky. That I do believe. You have to find the right grain, the right pellet, the whole thing. And once you do, sight it in with that one, and you're probably going to have a pretty doggone good shooter, because, as I had said before, I really like the grip. It's got a very, very nice grip. I like it. It is a heavy trigger pull, as you can see. Put aside the fact that I forgot to take safety off at that point, but even after I did, you could see it's heavy pull. Because of that, you're probably going to be pulling it to the left, and that's another reason. But still, I mean, I really had to adjust this way over to get it, and it's one of those things that I had to start over again as far as shooting. That's what I said. I completely took that part out so you didn't have to go through that. And once I did, I mean, this 5-yard one did pretty doggone good, because it hit it right into there. And at 5 yards for this one, dead center on the can. And as far as this goes, dead center on the cardboard. So, and it did a good job for plinking this. I mean, it did. You were able to hit that, and I'm sure 25 yards you might be able to hit one that size. That's a very, very small silhouette. But if you just like plinking steel, what the heck, you're definitely going to hit with this. You're going to hit it from 5, 7, and 10 yards without a doubt, because we fired it that way. But we're going to be having more parts to this, and again, probably the next one will be the comparison between this and the Buck Mark, which you've seen me use a lot of times. And I've shot that gun a lot, in fact. That was one reason we did the one on trying to improve the velocity, because it was definitely losing some velocity, I think. And we're going to compare the two of these on the chronograph. So that'll be another one too. And that'll probably be at the same time that we test this one on the chronograph. But we're probably going to wait for a little bit warmer weather, because I'd like to have the optimum temperature for this. And that might be another thing here. I don't know what the temperature is right now. Around 40 degrees, I guess, which is a warm-up from what we've been having. So until next time, shoot safe and have a great day of plinking.